Happy spring, second graders. It's starting to look like spring outside. I love it. It's getting warmer and flowers are starting to bloom. Well, we are going to be talking about fractions for our math week 3. And hopefully you watched the fraction video with Mrs. Shea and I having our fraction lunch because that introduces fractions a lot in a fun way. So real quick here, just kind of recapping what was said in that video. A fraction is a part of a whole thing. So we're going to look at right here. We have 3/8. The top number in a fraction is called a numerator. The bottom number is called the denominator. And the bottom number, the denominator, is how many parts are in the whole thing, whatever you may be talking about, like how many parts in the whole pizza, how many crayons in a box, so how many parts in the box, okay? The key is that the parts have to be equal. So if we look over here to this triangle, we couldn't say that this has 4 equal parts. So this really couldn't work for using a fraction because this part that's shaded is much smaller. These parts are all different sizes. Okay, so you can't use that for a fraction. Get rid of it. So it's important to know that all the sizes of the pieces, like in this one, need to be the same size for it to work for a fraction. Okay, or in your pizza, all the pieces might not be cut exactly the same, but they're close. So the top number, the numerator, would be how many parts are shaded, or maybe how many pieces of the pizza you're going to eat. I would like to eat 2 out of the 5 pieces, so 2/5. All right. So in our circle here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pretty equal parts. So that would go on the bottom. Sevenths, we're talking sevenths. And the parts that are shaded are 2. So 2/7 would be the fraction that represents this circle. In your books, you'll notice they have some of this written out because they want to show that, yes, you have 2/7 is written like this. And you would also say 2 out of 7 parts are shaded. Okay, so you're just showing it in 2 different ways. All right, you'll have quite a few pages on this kind of stuff where you might have to shade in the parts and recognize if they're equal or not. Okay, I wanted to talk about greater fractions and smaller fractions because it's a little bit weird that it's going to be a bigger number on the bottom, but that means it's a smaller part. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's say we have 2 candy bars. They're about the same size. And one of them is going to be into 6 pieces. And one of them is going to be cut into 4 pieces. Okay, so 6 pieces. Let's say your friend says, I have a candy bar and I'm cutting it into 6 pieces. I'll give you 1 piece. So you get one of the pieces, you get 1/6. And another friend says, well, I have a candy bar, it's cut into 4 pieces. I will give you 1 of the 4 pieces. So look at this. The fourths are actually bigger because there's less pieces. Okay, so you get to make them bigger. So if you like the candy bar, you would probably rather have 1/4 than 1/6 because this piece is going to be smaller. All right, so that's kind of the tricky thing, is that even though this number down here is bigger, this is actually in all a smaller fraction because a 1/6 is smaller than a 1/4. And you can see that when you do pictures. So if it's not quite, if you're still a little edgy on that, make yourself a picture. Remember your items that you make, like your candy bars, have to be the same size to begin with, and then you can try and cut them into equal pieces. Okay, let's just do one more of those real quick to make it make sense. Let's do, we'll do pizzas. And you can either have 1/3 of a pizza, or you can have 1/8 of a pizza. So this is cut into eighths. This is cut into thirds. Which pieces are bigger? The thirds. So the third is greater than the eighth. Okay? Even though it's a bigger denominator, it's a smaller piece that you get. Okay, last thing to touch on is how to make a whole. All right, so let's keep up our candy bar here of the 6. Okay, so 1/6 has been given away. Okay, and we want to know, well, how would you get the whole candy bar? Okay, well, the whole candy bar we know is 6 out of 6 pieces. And so the rest of the candy bar here, we've got the 1/6. To make this a whole, we'd say add a 5/6 to it, because a 1/6 and a 5/6 will equal your 6/6. All right, so you need the top to equal the bottom in order to get your whole candy bar, one big whole candy bar. Okay, so let's say we have 2/3 of a pie. We need to get the top to be a 3 to get the whole pie. So we would have to add 1/3. Okay, because 2/3 plus a 1/3 is a 3/3. All right, that's the missing part. The 3/3 would equal 1 whole pie. All right. I know in your workbook it shows you pictures to go along with this. So I've gone pretty quick. If it, if it's not making too much sense, again, use those pictures. They're great in showing you exactly what you're doing. All right, see you guys later. Happy spring.